Now that you have learned how to push your project to GitHub, let's now learn how to get project from GitHub. Earlier in this tutorial, I told you this project I do not have it locally anymore. So I'm going to use this as an example and fetch it from my account here and show you how it is locally. So let's go ahead and open a new project. So project, a new folder. I'll call that Twitter video downloader v1, so it's easy for me to identify. Again, I'm going to change my permission on this folder. If this doesn't apply to you, that's also fine, but it applies to me, so I'm going to just do that now. And then I'm going to make it apply to everything in that folder. Say okay and lock it back. So that is done. So let's go to our terminal and try to locate that particular folder. So let's clear this. We are currently in the Git class folder. I'm going to use this opportunity to show you how to go back from a folder. So this folder has the index.js file, but our project folder is actually outside of this folder, and we are currently inside this Git class folder. So we need to leave here and go back here. So to do that, you do a cd ... This basically means you are trying to go back to the previous folder, and you can see I went from Git class to my previous folder, which is project. So remember, ls means to list everything in that folder, and now you see I can see all the list of folders in my project, and this is the folder I want to work with, and I'm going to just copy that and they do a cd into that folder. Now I'm inside that folder, so I'm ready to actually get the content from my cloud storage platform GitHub here and put into that folder. So to do that, it's very easy. One of the easiest things to do on GitHub, you come over here and you can see there are different options, but we are going to be focusing on HTTPS for now. Just leave it the way it is and copy this code here. Now, the process of getting your code from the cloud back to your own computer is called cloning. You are trying to clone your code from this GitHub account into your own laptop. So let's come back to our code our terminal here and say clone. Actually, that's git clone. The address I copied that address from here, remember? And then I can say enter. Now it's attempting to clone the content of my Twitter downloader, and now it says that has been done. So if I open this now, if I do a ls now, I see Twitter video downloader there. Now if I go to my project and open this up, you can see I have Twitter video downloader, and inside there I have all these things. I can open my code editor, a new instance. Let's open that folder up, projects, Twitter video downloader, and this, and then you can see, then I can open this up, and that's the project that I now have. I now have this project locally. I can make changes to it and push it back to GitHub. But before we do that, I'm going to be doing that, but before we do that, I want to show you a different way to do what we just did now. So let's go ahead and delete this that we just cloned now. I'm going to delete this entire folder. To do that, from my terminal, I'm going to do it a rm, which stands for remove Twitter video downloader v1. Now this is not going to work because this is a directory. You can't just remove it directly because there are other things inside, and so to remove everything from the directory, you do a r. Okay, so let's clear this. I need to show you again. So this is the folder. I'm going inside that folder, v1. Let me just, and inside that folder I have this folder. So let's go into that folder too. Downloader, and then inside this folder I have this particular file. So let's try to delete this file. I think my earlier delete command actually worked. It just failed at some point, but I want to show you how to delete a single file. So I'm going to do a rm, which is remove get Twitter feed.class.php, and that has been deleted. If I do ls now, you don't see that folder anymore. So I'll go back into my earlier folder. Now I have this empty folder. To delete that, I'll do a rm -r, which is saying this is the directory that needs to be removed. So Twitter video downloader, yes. Okay, so apologies for that. I need to probably do a git sudo command here. And that has been deleted. So the reason why that happened, I'm glad it happened anyway, so that you would have you will see how to do this. So currently I'm signed in as a staff. I don't know why it's my computer, but anyway, I'm signed in as a staff, and I am not able to run some commands. Like inside this Twitter video downloader, I had this hidden folder, the Git folder. So when you initialize a folder to become a Git folder, what basically happens is an hidden folder is created and stored in that folder that you're trying to initialize, and that hidden folder is called .git folder, .git folder. So running that simple command, I couldn't delete it because of my permission wasn't how do I put it, I wasn't permitted to delete it. And so that's why I had to do a sudo. A sudo means like issuing a super directive saying I have access to do this. I'm using a different account. So when I say sudo run this command, it asked me, okay, tell me that indeed you can do this, show me the password, tell me the password to be able to achieve this. So I entered my administrative password and the delete was done. So I mean, if you run into that trouble, just know this is how to fix it. If you're on a Mac computer, PC users don't have to worry about those kind of issues. So ls, to see what we have in there, we have nothing in there. I'm going out of that folder. Now I'm in my project folder and I want to delete this particular folder again. So let's try a remove first. Remember, it's a folder, you have to do a -r, and it says permission denied. So let's do a sudo rm r, and that deleted it successfully. So if I go here now, you see that folder is gone, which is what we wanted to achieve. So let me show you another way to have gotten these projects onto your computer. I'm going to copy this address again. Now I'm not creating a folder. Let's clear this up. I'm just directly inside my project folder. I'm going to do a git clone, the address, and then the name of the folder I want to store the contents in. So initially we just did a git clone and we said enter, but now I'm doing a git clone, the address, and then the name of the folder. I'm going to call this Twitter video downloader, so tvd v1. That's fine. You remember what I said about using sudo power. So let's go back and try to use sudo here, running the same command but just using more power this time. So it's sudo, and that should work. So now it's cloning, it has gotten all the content, and now it is done. So let's go into that folder tvd v1, and inside that folder you see I have all the files that I wanted to have on my local system. So this is also how you can get your project from your cloud storage GitHub into your own computer. So let's open up this project so that we are sure that that project is actually the correct one. So open folder, projects, tvd, and open it up, and you can see I have everything here just as expected. And so these are basic things that you can practice on your own. We've learned how to push to GitHub, we've learned how to fetch from Git, how to clone from GitHub. The next thing we want to do is make a change to this project that I've gotten from GitHub, then send it back to GitHub. It's basically the same process, but it's just that we will not be doing some of the things that we did earlier when we were doing this particular project. So let's open up our editor now. I'm going to just close this because it keeps interfering. And this is my editor, this is the project. And in that project, because I don't have any major changes to do now, the thing still works properly. I'm just going to say, I'm going to add something here. I'm going to copy this out. This is HTML, by the way, and it's a very old I wrote this long ago. I mean, look at how many BR tags I have here. I didn't write any CSS. Okay, I did, just very little. But this is bad coding, having so many BR tags here. It's really bad. And then my tag is also broken, so I'm going to make some minor changes here. This is just to, I mean, follow a good convention. I'm going to change a few, and then here I'm going to say coming soon, coming soon. Then I create a p tag after that and say this is never coming, but I'm going to say Android version for Twitter video downloader. This is just to add something there. All right, I forgot to set my permission, so I'm going to come here to my TV, to this folder, and I'm going to get info, change directory, change permission on that folder. Let me just quickly do that. And here I'm going to say read and write, and that should do it. Okay, I forgot to allow for every file inside the folder, so let's do that. Come here, apply to every file, say okay, and lock it back. That should do it. So let's go back and make those changes, try to save it again, and now it saves. So now I have this file saved. You see the color now changes, saying that this file is saved locally, but it is not yet uploaded. It's not in your staging area. I mentioned staging area earlier. So if I check this icon here, it says changes made. You can see this is saying you have made change to this file, but you have not taken this file to the staging area, and therefore you can't send it to GitHub. So let's try to skip a step and see if we can send this file to GitHub without adding into the staging area. So let's do this ls. We are still there. Let's do a git status. We've already learned about this earlier. This file has been modified, and it's not committed yet. So let's try to push to the Git to the cloud without committing this file. So git push origin main. I think it should be master because this is a very old file. Yes, it's master. GitHub used to be master as the main branch, but it was changed to main. I think that was during the Black Lives Matter period, and they said they wanted to stand in solidarity with black citizens and change it from master to main. So now that's why we use main for our new project, but old projects still have master there. You have to manually go and change them, but it really doesn't matter to me at this point. It's just a project. So anyway, I'm trying to push this file, this project, back to GitHub. So let's try that now. I expect to get some kind of error saying, oh, you can't push this thing because you have some unsaved changes. Even though it didn't come with that error I was expecting, it came back saying that everything is updated. I mean, I don't recognize that you've made any changes, even though my local Git is saying I made a change, but I've not added that change to staging area, which means Git doesn't really care about it. It doesn't know anything about it. It only tries to work with things in the staging area. So now let's add this particular change, git add to the staging area. So I'm going to select that file rather than doing all the files. Now let's do another git status, and you can see now this is in the staging area. If I try to push this file to GitHub, okay, this error is still the same as before, saying that everything is updated, that it doesn't recognize this file. So let's add. No, we've done a git add. Now let's do a git commit. Updated with some coming soon information, Android version. So we've committed this. Let's do a git status. We have no pending file. Now if we try to push it, I don't expect any error to come back. I expect it to actually go into the and it says now it is writing it into the cloud. And if I refresh this, now we should say updated 24 seconds ago. So this is how to do that. Again, like I was saying, you could get a different type of error here. Just be calm and know how to solve it. It means, while I was getting everything is up to date, you could have gotten a different error. Just know that the problem is you've not done these steps accordingly.